Welcome back, guys. So, if you remember, middle of last year, July, somewhere around July, the Dreamcade replay went up on Kickstarter. So, there was a lot of talks about it, lots of, positive things, negative things, skepticism, even on my part. And we're getting a little bit closer. Despite what anybody tells you, we are still not, if we back this, we are not receiving this within the next few weeks or anything like that. Most likely backers, the first shipments won't be until end of April, early May, if we're lucky, hopefully. So it's still a little ways off, but they've put out a lot of new information and a lot of interesting things. So I wanted to take a look, give my thoughts, and talk about that today. So looking at the original Kickstarter, we did have this nice little looking Atari box, pretty much. It kind of had that aesthetic of an old school system, specifically the Atari. Pretty sweet stuff. So they did get 1,642 backers. They got over $228,000 plus the 100,000 they got from that, whatever that show was with Steve Harvey. I can't remember something dome, whatever it was, but they get 100 grand from that. So they're sitting pretty with enough money to get the development going and everything. They hit their goals pretty quick, so that was pretty cool. If you bought in early, you could get the system by itself for $99. Pretty sweet. They also offered some controller options and stuff like that, and now they have more clearer pictures of what you will be getting. And a little bit more information on what's going on. So after the Kickstarter, they did open up their little community area, which we'll take kind of a look at that in a moment. I don't really frequent this. Typically, when I back a Kickstarter, I've only backed several. I like all my updates and information to be through Kickstarter. And a lot of these companies have decided that they want to, go to their own website to communicate. And some people get frustrated with that. Some people don't care. I'm kind of in the middle. It doesn't really bother me too much. I just would prefer all information be on Kickstarter until, everything's shipped. Because I frequent Kickstarter. I go on there, peep it out, see what the news is. But when you're posting news elsewhere, it's kind of, just an extra step, I guess. Not a huge deal, but some people don't like that. So they did, send out this email the other day. Final specs and pre-orders begin. So you'd be like, what, pre-orders? I thought we pre-ordered this by backing Kickstarter. Well, yeah, we essentially did. But they are opening it up to the community. So those of you, there's been a lot of people who have even asked me or thrown out comments on videos or on my Facebook group saying, hey, when can us non-backers get in on this? Well, you can get in on it now. And I'm going to go ahead and give you the link to that in a moment. Or it'll be in the description. You'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to have several links so you can be more informed than, the average person, I guess. But peep out the description. Links will be there. So final specs and pre-orders begin. This is pretty much stating they're in the final home stretch that, they're heading to Shenzhen tomorrow to finalize their contract. They still have a backup manufacturer. So they're pretty much saying if they're so far in the process that with the first factory that we're releasing photos and final specs now, they're starting the printing process for the manual, box, and cover while the attorneys are finishing the due diligence, checking licensing, insurance, etc. Kind of, they know business better than I do, but kind of, crazy, everything just happening. They've been working on a lot of stuff. So what they state here with some specs anyway, some updated specs. Actually, pretty much it's better than what we originally thought and were told. So the replay will come with an Apollo Lake 2.4 gigahertz CPU. No specifics on the actual CPU, but we do have an idea of which one it is, and I'll share that in a moment. 4 gigabytes RAM, 32 gigabytes SSD, which is nothing. You're going to have some kind of expanded disk space options. So they offer some. You can get some. You can use whatever you want, but they are offering some expanded memory or disk space options. HDMI, VGA, 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, NIC, micro SD, M.2 slot, and USB 3.0. I think there might be some conflicting info. I'm not sure. We'll have to double check that. System is rated to run in turbo mode for over 4 hours, though in testing it runs indefinitely. In the picture here that they're showing, optional hard drive base shown, so you're not actually getting this. It's optional. Look at that in a second as well. They've also they've split their business, Dream Arcades Inc. and Dreamcade LLC. They normally are making, arcade machines. They do a lot of cool stuff with that. They look really slick. So to kind of separate the business and keep being able to manage that aspect and be able to do this, they're splitting it up, which isn't going to affect anything, essentially. Just, make things run a little smoother for them. So they said they started sending out Kickstarter surveys. I have not received mine yet, but pretty much what they're saying is that, with the trip to China, there could be a delay, so everybody might not get theirs yet, but you will pretty soon. So don't trip on that. So they're saying that you can go to the backer store and purchase some additional, add-ons if you so choose, which, some stuff that you could probably get elsewhere, for similar price or, whatever. You could shop around. They are offering discounts to the backers versus if you're just pre-ordering. So, I'll share my thoughts on that in a moment. And then they're taking pre-orders for everybody else now. They're getting review units ready to ship out. We're going to try to have the first batch sent out by the end of the week. So they are going to be sending whomever review units of this. Now, when I first saw this email, my first thought was like, this is a very generic looking shell. This is something I've seen before. And I'm not wrong. Even the specs line up with what I've seen before. So we do have, and even a lot of people pointed this out, it's, this Ace PC AK1, and there's been other versions of this as well in the past. But you're seeing through GearBest, this PC, which seems like it shares pretty similar specs, is double the price. So are you getting value for your money? I think so. Because even, looking elsewhere on Amazon, $200, kind of more positive reviews on this PC, and this mini PC, than there are negatives. The negatives, and I've searched through a bunch to try to see what people have said. And some people have had issues where the system stops booting up after a month, power supply concerns, things like that. So this little mini PC's been out for a while, and with them contracting, a company to manufacture them specifically for, Dreamcade, hopefully none of those issues exist. But they do have, from what I understand, very good customer service and whatnot. So if an issue does arise, I would hope and think that they would take care of it pretty quickly. But I'm not too concerned with that. The negatives that I've seen for this specific computer, there's not very many of them. And there's always a defect rate, so there's going to be a small percentage of issues to begin with any mass-produced product. My concern is looking at this thing. It's not the specs or anything, because I'm super happy paying $99 for essentially very similar specs to this. We can only speculate on some things, but what my disappointment comes in is this is what we were shown. Now, a while ago we were told, hey, there's some issues and we do have to do a redesign. We can't do this custom case, which essentially it's probably, Atari saying, hey, that's, no, cease and desist type thing. Understandable. Cool. Now, through Kickstarter, we've always known, you can't fully expect what is promised, or at least don't expect it, because there'll most likely be revisions, changes down the line. Most of the time for the benefit of the backer. And I think in this case with the newer specs, I think there is a benefit there. We are getting something better than what we originally anticipated, or at least compared to some of the specs that they kind of hinted at early on. They were never 100% clear on exact specific specifications of the system, processors, all that stuff, anything. They were never 100% on that, but from what their original statements were, we definitely are getting something that is a little more powerful than what originally was promised. So the aesthetic, that is one thing that some people care about, some people don't. I'm kind of in the middle on that. To have something that is reminiscent of a actual video game machine would be pretty cool. You know, that's why all of us, you know, with our Raspberry Pis, we're buying different cases and whatnot to kind of beautify that little board, make it look more retro or whatever your idea is. And I think with this system, it would have been pretty cool to have some kind of retro styling to it, or something that's reminiscent of a video game system. I feel like they cheaped out a little bit on just using a pre-existing shell for the PC that they are using. So to me, that's a little disappointing. To be getting something that looks like this versus something that looks like this, it's just aesthetics doesn't change how this system works. That does annoy me a little bit, because going through the community updates and reading different responses to things, they're saying that the reason that they're using this is because of reviewers' inputs. I don't know what reviewers gave them input and said, hey, yeah, use this basic mass-produced shell that you don't have to worry about redesigning. You don't have to worry about, you know, paying a company to mold anything or to create something new. Just use this. It looks awesome. I don't know who told them that, you know, so I kind of call BS a little bit on that one, or at least that, you know, they got input saying to use that, because they did not design this shell. This is just mass-produced, pre-existing shell. So some people are irked by that. Some people don't care. Some people would have much rather had a gaming aesthetic to the system. It is what it is, you know what I mean? It's a $100 system. I think we are getting value for it, you know, out of what we're paying, because to get something similar, you know, on the open market, you're not getting, you know, you're paying double. Essentially, you're paying double. Obviously, you know, some of this stuff, you know, this $200 comes with the base and all that. Our version does not come with the base. If you want to add the hard drive base, it's going to be $20 for backers. So it does not include a hard drive, but I think to keep the system uniform, it is kind of a nice add-on to have. It's just a hunk of plastic. Is it worth $20? To me, no, but to keep that aesthetic of how the system already looks, we can't change the way it looks other than the decals that they will be giving to backers to change the, you know, the look of it, I guess. I'm probably going to pay the $20 to get the little base, just to keep it looking the way it is. And to be quite clear and honest, because I already know I'm going to get a lot of hate saying, who cares the way it looks? I don't really care. As long as it performs, that's all that matters to me. I'm just stating that it would have been nice if it had a video game system look and not just a basic shell that the PC normally comes with that they're essentially using. So it is what it is. But you're saving $10. You get the little base. I'm probably going to do it. Buying a hard drive from them, I mean, okay, if you add a terabyte drive from them, it comes with the base. For $90, I mean, have to look at hard drive pricing to see if, you know, paying the $20 for the base and then buying your own hard drive would be worth it, or would be cheaper than this. I'm not 100%. So you could also get a Dreamcade replay base system with a joystick. You're saving $20 on getting free shipping, so you can do that. And then a few other options that they have. A TV mount, or, you know, VESA standard mount, so you can mount this on the back of your TV and keep it out of the way. That's, you know, for some people they might like that. Me personally, I don't, you know, I'm just going to have it sitting out. Mini keyboard, $12. You can find these all day for around the same price. An extra power supply. From what I understand, this additional power supply is actually a little bit longer cabled than the one that is included. And then this matched joystick, which I don't see how it's matched. It's just a cheap Chinese mass-produced controller, but that's up to you. $30? No. I mean, normally it's going to be $40. $30? I don't think so. Buy your own controller. I have tons of controllers, so I'm not even worried about it. But yeah, this is just a cheap Chinese controller. They did not design this or anything like that. This is just a mass-produced Chinese thing. Mixed reviews. Some people like them, some people don't. But you do have the option to get that. And then for just the normal pre-orders for the people who did not back, you've got the pricing here. Replay with the hard drive base and joystick for $150. All this stuff. And if you're pre-ordering, you weren't a Kickstarter backer, you're not getting the discounts, the additional perks, the shipping, the free shipping, and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to peep this out, the link will be in the description. So it is what it is. That's where we're at. The processor, they haven't specifically said. They have said it's an Apollo Lake processor, and going through, it is a Celeron version. And from my gathering and research, I am pretty positive this is the processor they are using. The Intel Celeron J3455. Pretty good. Not bad for, the price that we're paying to get this system. Them selling the little add-ons, that's fine. I'm not really tripping on that. That'll make things easier for some people who just want to get everything all together, including the controller. I'm knocking the controller. I think that's the worst value out of anything they're selling there. But, some people just want to bundle everything and have everything ready to go. Now, in all honesty, regardless if you buy additional storage space from them or you go elsewhere, you are going to need to get additional space. The system has 32 gigabytes, and the reason being is for any of these mini PCs, tablets, stuff like that, they can put, Windows 10 Home for free, free version, as long as the system is 32 gigs or below. So that's why they stuck with that kind of memory, between 32 to 64, whatever. The price is not crazy difference, but to have that licensing, to have a paid version of Windows, would have, kind of increased the price for us. So they're leaving it up to you. Pretty much, my opinion, I'm almost saying this is fact. 32 gigabytes is not going to be enough, because a lot of that is going to be, system dedicated already. So you're not going to have access to 32 gigabytes from the get-go. You are going to want to get, some kind of external storage, either with that base or, some kind of flash drive or external hard drive, whatever the case may be. So that's pretty much where it's at. Am I excited? It's still a little ways off. Like I said, they're not going to start shipping these till end of April, early May at the earliest. I still, I've been on the hunt for a little mini PC to play retro games on, and for the price, I don't think you can beat this as long as it works. And from what I understand, with all their benchmarking and testing, we are getting a pretty sweet system. So I am excited, but, it's been a little while, from July to now. My feelings on it, when it gets here, it gets here. I'm not even caring anymore. I can't wait to try it out, but it's not a big concern at the moment. It is going to be pretty sweet. For the $99 that you're paying to get this thing, you're getting a good value. But also in the end, you're getting their front end. You're getting the system pre-configured, having, everything set up for controllers that, almost any controller you could throw at it. So I'm happy with that. Definitely you can get a Raspberry Pi for cheaper, get that set up. But there's going to be a lot of work involved if you're doing everything on your own with the Raspberry Pi, and it is not, compatible with as much stuff as this system is going to be. So to each their own. I think we're getting a real good value out of this, so it is going to be pretty sweet. As soon as I have one in my hands, I'll be sharing it with you guys, letting you see what's up. In the meantime, if you want to get a better idea of the the specs of the system and how it possibly runs, and you know, kind of get a little more benchmarking on it, there is this video done by Chig's Tech Reviews. I'll put a link in the description so you can peep this out. A lot of people shared this video with me. I know other people have done videos on these. You even see down here, ETA Prime has a video up of this specific system. So peep those out if you want to get a little more information on what this system most likely will be. Boom, there you go. So, you know, I wish I could be extremely harsh or extremely positive. I'm kind of right in the middle. I'm not crazy excited. I'm not disappointed. I'm a little annoyed that they just went the easy route with the case. But that's fine. As long as it functions, it doesn't matter. It's going to have their branding on it. I'll probably just leave it the way it is. Hey, what do you guys think? Are you pissed off that they just didn't redesign the case? Are you mad that we still got to wait a little while? I mean, it's not a long while. It's just a little while. What are your thoughts on this? Links will be in the description for everything we looked at here. The pre-order store, the backer store, pretty much all the tabs I have open. I'll put links to so you can peep that out. So appreciate you guys stopping in. Smash that like button, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. And I will catch y'all next time. Peace out. Bye-bye. Boom.